Jason Whitlock goes on the attack again. Jason Whitlock is becoming a genius at what he's doing. What do you guys think? He has called out several former NBA players, calls them groupies. But before we get off into the video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you got your post notifications on so you know every time Simply Ball drops another hot banger. And if this is your first time coming across the platform and you're new to the channel, do me a favor. Hit the subscribe button, post your comments, share the video out. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up. Well, Jason Whitlock is at it again. Jason Whitlock has responded to some of his harsh critics when he goes on the attacks of the likes of Stephen A. Smith and Deion Sanders. Well, you know, recently, Stephen A. Smith and Jason Whitlock have gone back and forth. Jason Whitlock produced a video on his channel, Fearless, when he was trying to expose Stephen A. Smith over his playing days at Winston-Salem State. Jason Whitlock went far as going back, digging up, doing some research, finding articles pertaining to Stephen A. Smith. He also questioned Stephen A. Smith if he wrote his own memoir, Straight Shooter. And Stephen A. Smith took exception to that and he fired back. What did Stephen A. Smith do on his podcast? He unleashed what they call the ether. What Stephen A. Smith did is he said a lot of things about Jason Whitlock, which he had on his chest for over a decade, but he really didn't address what Jason Whitlock was trying to let the people know about Stephen A. Smith's playing career, because it's been on record where Stephen A. Smith has said that he got a full scholarship to Winston-Salem State and he didn't play because he fractured his knee. But then there's reports out there that Stephen A. Smith averaged 1.5 points a game. Jason Whitlock questioned that and asked, how can you average 1.5 points a game if you didn't play? Then Stephen A. Smith also been on record saying that he only played one game, and then after that, you know, he fractured his kneecap and, you know, he couldn't, you know, get back on the court. But if you only played one game, how are you going to average 1.5 points a game? And that's what Jason Whitlock was questioning. So Stephen A. Smith went on his podcast and he tried to expose Jason Whitlock. So basically what Stephen A. Smith said is he said a lot of things about a lot of people don't want to mess with Jason Whitlock. They don't want to do business with him. He was calling him out. He called him out of his name. He said he had to text his bosses at ESPN to get permission to do the things that he was going to do on his show. So what he do, he went and said some things that a lot of people agreed with Stephen A. Smith. Now, I said that to say this because you know guys like Gilbert Arenas have said a lot of things. Steven Jackson, Matt Barnes, they've said a lot of things about Jason Whitlock on his attacks on black athletes and also black people in general, the likes of Deion Sanders and Stephen A. Smith. And a lot of people have come to the defense of Deion Sanders and Stephen A. Smith. And what happened was Jeff Teague, former NBA All-Star point guard from the Atlanta Hawks. He's been bounced around the league a few times. He had a stint with the Milwaukee Bucks. Also, he played with the Minnesota Timberwolves. Him and his guys from Indiana have started a podcast, and it's called Club 520. And on their podcast, they basically was responding to the feud between Stephen A. Smith and Jason Whitlock. And Jeff Teague and his boys had some things to say, but when you listen to the clip, Jeff Teague kind of stood back because he said he didn't know Whitlock like that. And the other guys responded with some things toward Jason Whitlock. Take a listen to what they had to say.
Stephen A. calling Jason Whitlock a fat bitch last night.
How y'all feel about Jason Whitlock?
He's a whole ass nigga.
I
That's
hate
how
that
feel
he's
about
from
him.
that.
He's
He
the
act
product
like an
born.
industry plant.
I rock with Stephen A.
Jason Whitlock,
Shaggy.
from a journalist standpoint and from people who have dealt directly with him and indirectly with him, he is not a good person. And all the smut he gets is well deserved.
I don't know him like that, but just the hate that he be having for Deion Sanders, I'd be like, that's crazy. He never did nothing to me, so I can't say he's a bad person. I'm just saying, like, the stuff that he say about other people is like, damn, my boy.
DJ Wells will say Jason Whitlock is a whole ass nigga and a piece of shit.
He's about to go in on you. Your journalism, where the fuck did you?
And I can't wait.
He did some weak ass shit to Shannon.
He got a track record,
long
bro.
list, bro.
To have Stephen A. out his body like that, though, yeah, you got.
Hey, he was hot.
You gotta be a different kind of person.
Now that's crazy. Now, what we say from where I'm from, shots is fired. So what happened was Jason Whitlock must have saw that episode, and Jason Whitlock responded to Jeff Teague. Now, basically, the guys from Indiana are from Jason Whitlock's hometown, but they said no fly zone. So both of them are from Indiana. So listen to how Jason Whitlock responded.
This is Jeff Teague. Jeff Teague is a longtime NBA player. He's from my hometown of Indianapolis. He has a podcast that I think he does from Indianapolis with a couple of guys he grew up with. They tended to side, from what I saw, we'll see what clip we pulled here, but from what I saw, because I watched the entire thing, Jeff Teague and his sidekicks took Stephen A. Smith's side and attacked me. Let's play the clip.
How y'all feel about Jason Whitlock?
I hate
that he's from that.
He's not from that.
Well,
No
Indiana.
fly zone. The product. He's
He
the
act
product
like an
born.
industry plant.
He's just honestly, he's just really a bad person. Like everybody that goes around and has interactions with him, especially in the sports media world, bro, he is just not a good person.
Yeah.
I hate that he's from Indiana.
I hate it. He from Warren though. Eastside, they were trying to. Come on, y'all.
Why you looking like that, Mike? Because you want Jason Whitlock on the show?
No,
He would
but
never be on this
I'm
show.
about to
No,
say,
I'll rock with
fuck
Stephen.
that.
I'll rock with Stephen A.
Jason Whitlock,
Shaggy.
as from a journalist standpoint and from people who have dealt directly with him and indirectly with him, he is not a good person. And all the smut he gets is well deserved. It should be a lot
We don't
more.
want him at all, bro.
I don't know him like that, but just the hate that he be having for Deion Sanders, I'd be like, that's crazy.
Bro, he don't like black people.
Yeah.
Like he
I
don't.
like all the statements y'all just said outside of he's just a bad person.
Yeah, I don't know him.
He's a bad
I don't know
person.
him. He ain't never done
Might be
nothing to
trying
me.
to show these niggas grace, bro.
But I ain't never did nothing to me, so I can't say he's a bad person. I'm just saying, like, the stuff that he say about other people is like, damn, my boy. Like, why you hating on Prime like that? Why you hating on these people like that?
2024, Mike told me to stop alienating people we might have as future guests and businesses on here. So I've been trying to do my best not to say those
No,
things.
if we
But in this special case, Jason Whitlock,
Yeah,
he's a piece of
he's
shit.
not one of those.
I don't know him to call him a piece of shit. So I ain't gonna call you a
DJ
piece
Wells
of shit.
will say Jason Whitlock is a whole ass and a piece of shit.
I don't know him like that. So I ain't gonna call him that.
DJ,
So Jeff Teague is the one saying, I don't know him like that. Whoever this DJ Wells is, and DJ, I hope someone sends you this, very feminized, bro. Young brother, just very feminized. You're gossiping. You don't know me.
Unbelievable.
Anybody that you allegedly know in the media,
Unbelievable.
they don't know me. No one's ever heard your name. I can't imagine anybody who actually knows me knows you.
Unreal. Unreal with what Jason Whitlock says. Basically, Jason Whitlock is contradicting himself because he went on to say that the thing that bothered me, he's talking about Jeff Teague's boys are his sidekicks. It seems like every time somebody responds to what Jason Whitlock says, he goes on the defense mechanism and wants to play victim. So when somebody starts calling him out, it's got to be sidekicks. You're not aware. You're not informed. You're a bunch of groupies and things like that. So basically, Jason Whitlock is trying to have his cake and eat it too. And he's also talking about you're just gossiping. Well, Jason Whitlock, what are you doing on your channel? Right now, your channel has turned into a gossip channel. a real gossip channel. But when somebody calls you out on it, you get your panties in a bunch. Also, he also tried to call Gilbert Arenas out and the host on the show, Lexi Brown. There's a clip that I'm going to play for you guys, and I want you to take a listen. And I don't like how he addressed this young lady. Take a listen.
Let's play Gilbert Arenas. Let's see what he has to say.
Did Stephen A go too far, though, with the comments? You said he's professional.
No.
Calling him a bitch.
No, he didn't call him a bitch. You bitch. you bitch, not just the regular one.
Exactly what he deserves.
Oh, for real?
Yes. He's horrible. Like, the things that he says, the stances that he takes, he's just very hateful. Like,
Oh, he's one of those.
yeah, it's like nothing comes from any logic, analytics, nothing. It's like just pure like hate and like just mean. Like just a mean little fat man. Like
So, last.
Now, you heard what Lexi Brown said. He's mean. You know what I'm saying? It don't come from a place of good, character or good heart. And Jason Whitlock responded to her, and Jason Whitlock opened up his soliloquy by stating to Jeff Teague and his boys, this is what y'all sound like. Y'all sound like y'all feminized. Y'all sound like a bunch of girls. Let's take a listen to how Jason Whitlock responded to Lexi Brown.
Did you see the way that woman sounded? That's how y'all sounded. This is,
That's
again,
in reference to
There's
Jeff
just
Teague.
no logic to anything he says. It's just mean and hurtful. There's no logic to it.
I get her acting like an uninformed woman.
See,
I
didn't
get
like that. I didn't like what he said.
She's
on
part
there.
of that
Uninformed.
matriarchal feminist movement that has captured most of the black community.
And see right there what Jason Whitlock said, she was uninformed and, taking a dig at a woman like that, man, trying to womanize it. I didn't like what Jason Whitlock said on there. But like Stephen A. Smith said, when he went on his rant and went on his little segment and was saying things about Jason Whitlock, talking about no networks want to work with him. He can't get back on Fox. He can't get back on ESPN. All he's doing now is trying to collect a check any way possible. And Jamil Hill verified that. So basically what I'm saying is Jason Whitlock becoming a genius at what he's doing? Because he's getting the attention that he wants. Because everybody is responding to what Jason Whitlock is saying, and then Jason Whitlock will keep it going. Jason Whitlock won't let it die. Jason Whitlock is doing a masterful job of getting his clicks and views and getting his numbers to go up, because what he's doing, he's capitalizing off of all these segments where people mention his name, and he would do a whole podcast on trying to depict on what they say. But in this situation, Jason Whitlock, you can't have your cake and eat it too, man. It seems like when somebody responds to you, you always say they're misinformed, they're acting like a bunch of women, they're gossiping. Jason Whitlock, you're gossiping too. Your show is turning into a gossip channel. So you guys let me know what y'all think down in the comments. Please like the video. Please share it out. And this is going to wrap up another episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K-Sap. We're going to catch you on the next one. Deuces.
Thanks for listening to the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share on all major platforms.
Another one.